Welcome back. James here, Money Media, and I want to make a quick video about why I don't believe that a 9 to 5 is a scam and why I think you can generate respectable wealth throughout your career. Stick around, I'm going to run through a few reasons why. So I'm seeing this currently quite a bit online, that 9 to 5 is for some reason a scam and that you can't generate wealth from a career. I think both of those statements are inaccurate, and I want to squash this notion that a 9 to 5 isn't respectable. In fact, in today's market, I think it's one of the most overlooked and undervalued vehicle for long-term success. Genuinely. First off, I do want to underline this video with the fact that wealth is subjective. So if by wealth you mean that I'm talking about being the richest person in the world, I'm definitely not referring to being at that level of wealth. Would you like to be at that level of wealth? That's completely up to you. Would I like to be at that level of wealth? Not really. But I did want to get that out of the way. Now, first and foremost, with this notion that everybody seems to overlook is the lack of risk in a career. Which, look, if you're working a 9 to 5, I think you could probably agree that you don't actually work those hours. You work greatly in excess of those, depending on what your role and how high up you are in that particular company. But the risk that you face is relatively low, especially if you are in a major metropolitan city. Now, I've worked with and around business owners and I see how hard they work. And my general outlook is that if you do have a career and you worked as hard as these business owners do, or if you work as hard as what you would work otherwise if you're working on a business for 5 years, it's a much higher percentage chance that you'll have success in your career than you would in business. And the stats support this quite clearly. Now, I want to address the point of wealth. Now, as I said at the start of this video, wealth is definitely subjective. So if you have some incredibly lofty financial goals, then maybe a career isn't the path for you, or maybe a career is the path for you, but just not long term. That being said, the maths is extremely clear on generating respectable wealth throughout your career's lifespan if your money is managed properly, if you're receiving an income that continues increase with skill, and if your skill is continuing to increase throughout that period. Now, you don't have to go far. You only need look and play with a compounding interest calculator, which is extremely simple to do. You could search one online, you could find one, use one for free. I do it quite regularly with certain scenarios. Playing with one of these, you can quickly see how your wealth can seriously grow over time by controlling your costs and investing the difference intelligently. And that's why I believe the myth of a 9 to 5 not creating wealth is untrue. Now, there's a term I want to introduce you to if you haven't yet heard it, and it's called OPM, other people's money. Now, in investment terms, it generally refers to loans that you would take out to purchase a particular asset. And in this instance, buying a home is an easy example, which you could understand, in that we go to a bank with a deposit and the bank gives us the additional capital to purchase the home. That's using other people's money to increase your wealth. Now, I see a 9 to 5 as also using OPM. You're learning on someone else's watch. You're making mistakes on other people's watch, which you could argue are both the same thing, but you're also creating invaluable contacts and networks on other people's watch. And those things are invaluable, and I think they're often overlooked. Now, lastly, and the point that I find most ironic is the people that generally say this are those that are either entrepreneurs or people trying to get into their own businesses, which I have full respect for. I love the grind, I love the hustle, but I sometimes wonder if they're overlooking the fact that at some point for them to grow their business, they're going to have to work with people. And it's highly likely that those people are going to have to work either with or for them in some capacity. And those people will be working within their careers. So I don't see why it would be called a scam. I'm sure there'll be plenty of feedback and plenty of pushback for this video. So I welcome any and all comments. Leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. I'm sure it's going to be a hot one. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. I'll see you for the next one.